A quick and simple video, as I've seen many Americans explaining how to drive a manual. This is how to drive an automatic. We have the engine running and we're in park. We have two pedals. Oh, the simplicity. You put your foot on the brake, select the direction you want to go. I want to go backwards. Release the handbrake. Yay. As you release the brake, the car should crawl. If it doesn't, you have to add a little bit of accelerator. The problem comes for people who like to drive manuals is as we come to a stop, it is inbuilt into your brain to apply the clutch. Don't do that or you'll stop like that. So now we know how to drive on automatic. Let's jump into a manual and show you the differences and how it is still an easy and practical transmission to be using every day. So here you go. It's just explaining the manual. So your normal accelerator, brake, and then your clutch. I'm in England, so obviously it's on this side of the car, in case you're confused. The other control that's added, other than the clutch, that you need to think about when driving is this. It's the hand brake. Obviously with an automatic you can call it an emergency brake, but here is a crucial part of driving a manual, so it's a hand brake. You operate this for doing hill starts, so when this is up you don't have to have your foot on the brake, so you can operate the accelerator and the clutch. And you lower this and you can head off. You drive a manual properly. You have a handbrake. When you're on a hill, that should be on, so you don't have to have the brake on, so you can operate the accelerator and clutch. When you start the car, it should be in neutral. It's already started, so we put it in first. We add a little bit of gas with the accelerator, and we lift up the clutch and we take off the handbrake, and we go forwards. We add the power that we require, and then we take our foot off the clutch because we don't need that anymore because we're travelling. Then we want to change gear, foot on the clutch, into the next gear, do the same move again, and there you go. It's really, really simple. You should not be scared of this. If you want to have a manual, go and buy a manual. One addition to my comment about driving a manual. In my earlier video I was saying about you lift the clutch and add the accelerator. That is true, but also you have to find the biting point. So in my car, that's the biting point there, and then I can just control my feet to go where I want. Now I'm going to go forwards again. So find the biting point, which is there, add a bit of accelerator, lift up the clutch, and there we go. Really simple. Go and buy yourself a manual. Now we compared automatics and manuals. Here's the reasons why you might want an automatic and you might want a manual. Let's start with first car. If you live in Europe, you probably want your first car to have a manual, so you gather a skill that most other drivers on the road have. Instructors will teach you how to drive manuals, mainly in the UK. Whilst you can do an automatic license, it limits you to only driving an automatic car. Instructors may also know how to teach someone certain manoeuvres better when they're teaching someone with a manual car, such as saying, we're coming up to a turn, slow down until you're right for the speed for second gear and go around this corner in second. It's really useful when you're first starting out to think about speeds related to gears. You've got to remember also, if you break down, the courtesy car you're going to get is probably going to be a manual in the UK. Unless you specify otherwise, and you might have to pay to be able to get an automatic. Also, if you want to rent a van or anything like that, you're probably going to need to know how to drive a manual. They don't even sell the Ford Transit as an automatic. Or they didn't when I last checked, it might have changed. This is my first car. It's a nice fit, been brilliant drive. I've never thought, oh, I'd like an automatic, you know, all of that lot. When I was learning to drive and all of these things, it's really useful having a manual. Oh, there's an ambulance. Sorry about that, there was an ambulance. So there's probably a jump cut that's just happened. Yeah, it's really useful in this country to know how to drive a manual. Now, travelling on motorways a lot, I might consider getting an automatic. I know how to drive a manual, and I have a very satisfying sports car with a manual that I can drive. So that's the reason why you might want an automatic. Other reasons you might want an automatic are, generally, it's quite relaxing, you know. In England, there's a lot of traffic. It's a bit of a pain, and sometimes you just want to get back from work or college or whatever you're doing in nice, relaxing, not having to think that much, eyes on the road ahead. So, if you're living in America, might be a reason why you want to get an automatic. Most people in America, as I know, drive automatics and things like that. So this video for you is probably not going to be about your first car, or if it is about your first car, it's going to be convincing yourself that you could do it, and your parents maybe. And that isn't really a reason why you shouldn't drive a manual. You know, you can teach yourself using this video, other videos. Preferably you'd get an instructor, but I know that's a bit difficult over there to learn how to drive a manual. But it will make you a better driver driving a manual. That's guaranteed. You will be a better driver if you drive a manual, because you just have to think a little bit more. It's not much, just a little bit more, and you can't text and drive easily and all of these things. But you're probably, on the whole, going to want an automatic if you live in America. It's a culture of automatics. There aren't many more reasons why you'd want an automatic. It is about that. In supercars with their clever dual clutch transmissions, they're forced around a track, I guess. But I'm not talking about supercars, I'm talking about kind of cars that you're going to drive. If you are in America and you're wanting to drive a manual, go ahead, you know, show your parents this video or whatever. You've got to understand it, in Europe, pretty much 90% of people learn in a manual. Then they go out and buy a manual, they have that as their first car. Then they decide, they want something more luxurious, and they go to an automatic. It's not hard. A young person can easily drive a manual. It's just stupid to think that, you know, it's too difficult or it's hard or you should be scared of it. It's an easy thing to do. You've got to be a car enthusiast in America, because there's no other reason that you would want to drive a manual there. No. Reasons you might want a manual: just for everyday driving, you know, not because you love cars or anything like that. You're going to get better fuel economy. People seem to think that automatics are better, and if you've got a CVT, probably true. If you've got a really expensive 9-speed automatic, that might help you. But if you've got a normal automatic, you've got to remember, it's your first car, it's going to be something that's cheap or anything like that. The car is having to pump oil to operate it. It's got a lot better and quite a lot of electrically operated, but they're still heavy and require power from the car to operate. Then you've got to think about reliability. You know, it's not going to be as reliable as a manual. A manual's a very, very simple system. It's old school, yeah, but it works. Weight, you know, if you're going for a lightweight car, or you just like chucking it around, the automatic adds weight. And then the last thing is fun. Manuals are more fun. Switching through gears on a tight country lane is massively entertaining. Hope you enjoyed that video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up down below. And if you want to see more of the videos that I make, some more of that style probably, go ahead and subscribe. It really help me out. At the moment I'm just starting up, but I hope to be doing quite a lot of these sort of videos.